And now, once again, Dino Gar's going to go out onto the field and get a ruling as Rye takes their first timeout.
Dino Gar is going to have to be a little careful because I think the official's reaching for the back pocket. He may throw a flag on him.
Roughing the kicker was the call. Oh, good to have Fellini directing our game this afternoon. 11:59 left to go. You see the complete story. 14-0 the score. Rye leading Eastchester. The Garnets unbeaten in their last 17 ball games, looking for their second straight undefeated season. Oh, God. Our man from Yorktown wants to know who Fellini is. If I'm not mistaken, he was champion milker at the Yorktown Grange Fair earlier this year, I think. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know it.
So the timeout taken by Coach Gar as he is hustled back to the sideline. And Rye will have it first and 10. Or pardon me, Eastchester will have it first and 10 from their own 40. They get the 33-yard line. They're the Eastchester cheerleaders. We told you they have braved the weather, and they are here as well.
I see Kathy Leah there. She's in my volleyball class.
You teach
Your way,
yeah, it's co-ed.
Your way,
what a job.
Yeah.
Your way.
First and 10. Burrow will give it to Gabelli. And Gabelli gets 1 yard up to the 35-yard line. You can see very difficult to distinguish the numbers for Eastchester. Those jerseys just decimated now.
That's an isolation play. You can see the first back coming up now. He's supposed to block the linebacker, and then the back will run. But the defensive line for Rye, they're closing the gap. There are no seams, no holes. They're just jamming everything up.
Clock continues to roll. 11 minutes left to play in the ball game. Rye leads 14-0. Second down and 9 for the Eagles. Gabelli. Nothing there at all. Oh, was he stacked up in a real hurry, leading the charge. William Disbrow, number 50, with help from Nick Stavarate, number 75.
Oh, they are hitting out there. You hear that leather popping, cracking and smacking. They're going right at him.
So loss of 1 brings it back to the original line of scrimmage, where it will be 3rd and 10.
See, the secret right here is that offensive line of Eastchester, they got to get down, and they got to beat the right defensive line off the ball. They have to explode out. That's why you're always hitting the sled every day in practice, that 7-man sled. You get the linemen down and explode out. On the explosion, that sled should jump a couple of feet off the ground or the field and 5 yards back, and you get the linemen down again and just keep exploding. You have to beat the defensive line off the ball. Now, conversely, you want to do the same thing with the defensive line. You get those linemen down, and they want to explode out into the offensive man, and so that they get driven back, so you form a new line of scrimmage. Then it stops the running game of the offense.
Timeout taken again by Eastchester. That is their second, so they are down to 1 left the remainder of this game. And they have a very big play facing them. 3rd down and 10. And you see Dino Gar back as the head coach. Was a head coach here at Rye a few years ago, then went over to Westlake and was very successful with the Wildcats program. Got him a bowl victory back in 1984.
He had an undefeated season at Westlake, and last year an undefeated season at Rye.
So he's looking for his 3rd in a row. All right, Mickey Morgan comes in motion. Burrows, straight drop back, blitz is on, little screen pass, and it's incomplete. Looking for Gabelli, and that one just floated up into the air, dangerously close to Gunnar Huber, who almost had an opportunity to pick that one off.
That was Chris Quinton coming in, number 44, that applied the pressure on Butch Burrows, the Eastchester quarterback. And Butch just had to let that ball go immediately. He did not have enough time to plant and really throw it accurately to the receiver.
So the clock stopped now with the incompletion. 10:19 left, 4th quarter. Rye leads 14-0. John Carrillo along with Ray Karowski and the entire Cable 3 sports team bringing you another game of the week. All right, again, we'll look for the quick kick. You get a good look at Wooten. He'll get the football. And this one off the side of his foot. And will go out of bounds inside the 45-yard line. They'll spot it right at the 46. So Rye will get it back again, 1st and 10, in pretty good field position. 10-10 left to go in the ball game.
Now Eastchester's going to have to stop a drive of Rye to get back into this ball game. Here's the quick kick.
Joey, get in, Joey.
Trying to be blocked. It goes out of bounds. That's not a bad strategy, doing a quick kick on both teams, because the ball has to go back 12 yards from the center if you line up on a regular punt, and there's always the possibility of the ball being squirted loose and creating a fumble.
Riebling looking deep for King, and he overthrew it. Good coverage by the Eagles secondary. They were right all over Joe King, and that'll be an incomplete pass and bring up 2nd and 10.
Okay, now on that play, Joe King was going down. He was covered man for man. Now Dino Gorn knows that Eastchester's playing a man-for-man coverage. So, you know, whatever he wants to do, whatever his scheme is offensively, he may send someone over across the middle, and he may be open.
And a penalty marker all over the field before the snap. That means somebody was lined up in the neutral zone. And it is against Eastchester, a 5-yard offsides penalty. Just their 3rd of the day for 25 yards total. But it'll bring up 2nd down and 5 now as the ball comes to the Eastchester side of the 50-yard line.
Now right here, I wouldn't be surprised if Rye runs to the right, because they have the grass, good footing, good traction. They can pull a guard, you know, lead the blocking up, and come right here to this side.
All right, Joe King comes split out to the near side. Riebling looking his way and throws it short, intended for King. And again, another incompletion. And that basically a case of Riebling unable to get sure footing and kind of slipped as he released the football. And a little short, so it'll be 3rd and 5.
See, I don't like a pass here in this situation, because the quarterback's dropping back in mud, and you have to be on balance. You have to be so when you could come right up on your toes and back down without moving your foot like a step, you know, forward or sideways. You have to step up into the pocket and get that ball accurate. You have to stay to the running game, basic football right here.
Giglio with the pitch, gets good block. Whoa, what a pop. Good listen to that as they ran right past our cameraman, Pat Burke. And Giglio up to the 46-yard line, but Eastchester in a hurry stops him short of the 1st down.
Boy, there was some popping. Watch this. Boom! Right there, you can hear the leather. The helmet.
Great balance he has.
Yeah, he's got good feet. He keeps them moving. Got cat-like balance. You know, maybe when he was a kid, he used to walk on a railroad track all the time. You know, develop that balance, or the high beam in gym class or something. They might have a very good phys ed program here.
4th and 1. Giglio has the 1st down. Streaks down the sideline and finally pulled out of bounds inside the 35.
See, they're running to the right. They're running to the good traction. They have good footing here. And they're pulling that guard. They're getting the block. Look at the guard's pull. See the guard pull? Now they're turning. They're looking to the inside for a block. There's Giglio. Look at him run. They can't even. He won't go down. He's just determined to stay on his feet.
91 yards rushing now.
They got to push him out of bounds.
The senior tailback, Sal Giglio. 5'8", 160 pounds. And it is 1st and 10 for the Garnets. Giglio again. This time he's tripped up in the backfield. And looks like he was able to get up to the 1st down stake, but Giglio is down.
That was good penetration there by the defensive line. Got right in the offensive backfield. See, that may be Jose Valentin right here. Watch how he got right in there. See how he got in? And Giglio just tripped right over him. He put his arm up.
And came down kind of funny, maybe on his shoulder. But it looks like now maybe just a case of getting the wind knocked out of him. He did come right back on his back. So as you can see, he's coming off under his own power. We're going to see him a little later on. No gain on the play. It is 2nd down and 10 with 9:14 left to go in the ball game. Rye leads 14-0. A 1-yard touchdown run by Joe King with 4 seconds left in the 1st quarter. And then Sal Giglio on a 6-yard TD run with 1:19 left to play in the 2nd quarter. And that's all the scoring we've had. And getting the call number 41, Scott Newman, who comes in for Giglio.
Scott Newman is only a sophomore, and he runs with determination and power also. He's going to be a good one. Watch Scott right here. He gets the pitch. He has the ball close to the sideline. Boom, he puts his head down. Gets knocked out of bounds.
Pick up of 4 yards. 3rd down and 6 now for the Garnets. Under 8 minutes remaining to play.
You see, they're running to this side. They're running to this side. They're running to the side that has the good traction. Move those linebackers. Shift them over here to this side.
Riebling, play action, throws, and it's completed to Tommy Armins. Cuts it back inside and goes down close to the 10-yard line. They'll spot it at the 12.
See, if they're not running to the side, they're throwing to that side.
13-yard pass completion.
Now watch Armis on a nice pass right there. Good reception. Armis is going to the goal line. Boom, he gets hit from the side. Armis was the starter last year. He knows what it is to win. He's a winner. He was that bowl game. Was an excellent game last year against John Jay.
And motion all over the offensive line. And that almost looked like a case of everybody knowing the snap count except for the center, Brian O'Mara. And the call is against Rye. 5-yard penalty.
Now here's where Eastchester's defense is going to have to rise to the occasion. And now, you know, you have to have a little pride here. You know, don't let them score. Go in. Rye's doing a good job. Ball control. They're moving the ball. They're getting their first downs. They're mixing it up. They're running a one pass here and there. But again, the defense has to rise to the occasion. 1st and 15
for the Garnets. Riebling gives the football to Newman. It's loose, and the Eagles have recovered. Turnover number 3 by the Garnets, their 3rd fumble. And Eastchester has picked it up, so they stopped the Rye drive. There you see the tail end of it.
And that was Jose Valentine that got the fumble. Jose's playing in the Rye offense. He's penetrating very well. He comes up with the fumble. And then that's where Eastchester rose to the occasion, right there. The fumble was there. They caused it. They recovered it. Jose Valentine. You know, his brother's only a sophomore, Dan Valentine, and he's starting as an end for Hackley, an undefeated team. You have one brother at Eastchester, the other at Hackley, and they're both starters.
Well, the Eagles have to get something started in a hurry. Get back into this ball game. They trail by 14 points. 8:20 remaining to play. They have it 1st and 10 from their own 17-yard line. How'd you like to put your hands and body in that? Takes a certain breed to play football. Mickey Morgan in motion. Again, the ball is loose. And they're going to have to get down to the bottom of the pile to figure out who has this one. Burrow never had it off the snap. And it looked like Burrow fell right back on it. So Eastchester will hold on to the football. A loss on the play inside or right at the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 12.
Now Jim Scanlon's at center. He just came in there. There it is. He never got the ball up to Butch, the quarterback. He just came in for that one play because Valentine had to go out. Now he's back in. Valentine's at center now.
2nd and 12. Butch Burrow, sophomore quarterback for the Eagles. And again loses the football. But again, Eagles able to fall on it, but they're going backwards. Now down to the 11-yard line. Another loss on the play.
They were right through Butch's hands and almost hit him in the stomach, and the ball popped out. Now, way before, I said Jim Scanlon was the middle linebacker, but I just saw him come in. His jersey's pretty clean. I'm not sure who is playing middle linebacker now for the Eastchester defense. I wish we can see the numbers.
Clock is rolling. 7 minutes remaining to play. There's your score, 14-0. King and Giglio with the 2 Rye touchdowns in the ball game. DeAngelica comes split to the near side. Mickey Morgan goes to the top of the screen. 3rd and 16. Burrows in trouble at the goal line, and he is down at the 1-yard line. He was just able to get back out of the end zone and save the safety. but that is 3 straight plays where the Eagles have gone backwards and will now have to kick it away from their own end zone.
And kick it away they're going to have to do immediately because they does not have enough room back there. He only has like 10 yards. As soon as he gets that ball, he's going to just have to kick it.
And Rye is going to get it back in excellent field position. Incidentally, that was the 4th sack registered by the Garnets defense in the ball game.
Timeout.
Eastchester has to take it, and that is their 3rd and final timeout here in the second half. 6:16 left to go in the ball game, with Eastchester trailing Rye 14-0.
Now they're going to really have to block. The offensive line of Eastchester is going to have to block because there's a lot of pressure on that punter. If that Rye defense really comes hard, it could cause a lot of problems down here.
Now what about, let's talk a little bit about Rye, though it looks like they will come up a winner in this ball game. Run their record to 7-0-1. Have to play Harrison next week over at the Huskies home field. That'll be at the junior high school. For Rye, we know about that game, that Rye-Harrison game. You throw all the records out of the window, and anything could happen. Harrison, however, has really turned their season around and has played very well over the last 4 weeks of the season. After that one, Rye probably will go to a bowl game.
Right.
Their offense has been so tremendous all season long, and you have to give credit to the offensive line for that. But the running backs that they brought in, they've got to be in excellent shape.
Oh, definitely. I mean, not only in shape, but they're power runners. They're really strong. But I'm more impressed with their defense. Their defense is excellent.
Wooten gets the ball, and the kick is away. It's very high, but very short. And a fair catch taken for it. That'll be a penalty. Somebody leveled number 87, Ricky Lehman, who made the catch. And he made it at about the 10-yard line, and then after the hit, personal foul call will go against the Eagles.
Okay, here's the punt. Now, this is good coaching right here. Dino Guard tells him, always catch the ball on the fly, and that's exactly what he did. He signaled for a fair catch, caught it on the fly. You don't want that ball to bounce around because it may hit someone in the leg. It's a live ball. He's just, it jumps on it, then it's theirs. You know, they're always catching the ball on the fly. They're not, I like that. I mean, that's good coaching, and the team is disciplined, and they're coming through. Catching that ball on the fly is so important, and everybody has to realize that.
So personal foul call against the Eagles. It's half the distance to the goal. So it ends up being a 5-yard penalty, but Rye has it 1st and goal from the Eagles' 6-yard line. And we've got a new quarterback in the ballgame. And a whole bunch of new runners. Scott Newman, number 41, gets the call. In at quarterback now, number 12, and that is Richard Muscali. He is the junior.
Now, if I was Eastchester's defense right now, I would say watch Scott Newman. I'd key on him. I'd get the linebackers wherever he goes. He's only a sophomore. He can prove that he's a good hard runner. And that's the man to watch right now, Scott Newman, number 41.
5:25 left to go.
I would key 2 linebackers and go right at him.
Muscali now in at quarterback for the Garnets. And gives it to Newman again. Newman got the opening and is in.
He's only a sophomore. I was at practice on Thursday watching. I was behind the defense when they were running plays, and Scott Newman was running, man. He really missiled through one of those, a little crease in a line, and he was coming like at me, and I had to back off like 5 yards because he couldn't slow up. I said, this guy's a good runner, and he says he's only a sophomore. I says, he's got 2 more years.
All right, Joe King in to attempt the extra point. He missed his only attempt. They snap it right to him. Slips away from a tackle, throws it into the end zone where it is intercepted. But being the 2-point conversion, he has nowhere to go.
That just kills the play. That's it.
So the 2-point conversion is no good. That looked like a design play. That one was snapped right into the belly.
Directly. But Eastchester covered the receiver. He was well covered.
So with 5:14 left to go in the ball game, the Garnets of Rye leading Eastchester by a score of 20-0. And as Ray mentioned, all game long, we're watching the most prolific defensive team in Section 1 performed this afternoon, and they're living up to all expectations. Have only given up 19 points this season in their 7 previous games and are looking for another shutout.
Yeah, and I call them the Rat Pack. I hope that they're not, you know.
Well, they had that moniker last year, and I believe they're still using it this year, the Junkyard Dog.
Oh, no, the Rat Pack is
like
better.
That better.
Yeah, because, you know, they're faster, quicker. They just come right at you. They scare you. And then when they get near the goal line, when a team gets near the goal line, they bring in the Desert Rats. You know, these guys are the ones that are like experts. They're like, you know, the Green Berets, so that they got to cover every guy man for man. They got to, you know, protect that goal line.
Well, you've covered every branch of the service so far this afternoon. All right, ball loose on the field, picked up by the Eagles. Now they may get something out of this. Finally run out of bounds across the 35 up to the 37-yard line. Again, we apologize. We just cannot tell who has the ball for Eastchester. The numbers were gone after the second series of today's game. The Eagles came in with white uniforms and red numbers, and they were immediately disappeared.
You know, I'm going to have to ask Dino Gar. I hope he's not offended if I call his defense the Rat Pack, but to me, it's devastating. They react well, they read, they pursue, they make a tackle, not one guy, not two, not three, like 4 or 5. You know, they don't sting you, they bite you, they put the hurt on you. It's like if you're on the offense for the other team, you say, hey, I don't want that ball, I don't want to go into that Rat Pack.
Burrow, straight drop back. Throws it across the middle, and it is intercepted. Number 87 making the interception. That's Ricky Lehman. And that is turnover number 2 against the Eagles.
Here's Butch Burrows. It's a straight drop-back pass. He slipped there. He just slipped, and that ball was underthrown. Nice interception. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys around that ball. You see how the ball draws a crowd? They just come right to it.
You're in. 4:40 left to go in the ball game. Rye has it right back. 1st and 10 from their own 44-yard line. As you can see, Dino Gar is giving some of his backup players a lot of playing time, a lot of clean jerseys for Rye out there this afternoon. They give the ball to Newman, and he's tackled in the backfield by the Eagles defense. And a whistle on the field as the 4-minute warning now will be issued to both sides with our score, Rye 14, or make that Rye 20, and Eastchester nothing. Will return to Nugent Stadium with the final 4 minutes of the ball game right after this message. Chulo's camera in the end zone as Rye has it 2nd down and 14, a loss of 4 on that last tackle by the Eagles defense. And Rye sets up shop once again. Again, the new quarterback, Richard Miscali, number 12, the junior. And again, it'll be Scott Newman, number 41, and he is brought down again for another loss. And the Eagles defense starting to come alive here against the second stringers of the Rye offense.
They're not giving up. Eastchester's hanging in there. They're staying. They're fighting to the bitter end. And you got to give everyone credit. You know, win or lose, the Rye ball players, Eastchester ball players, I mean, the guys are coming out. They're playing football, and the football players are the youth of America, the cream of the crop. I have a lot of respect for these ball players, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose. You know, you don't hang your head. You know, just show a little character, come back, and be tough for the next week.
3rd and 16 is what Rye was working on that last carry. And handling the shore there, Jerome Kenny, number 42. No gain, back to the line of scrimmage, and it will be 4th down and 16 for the Garnets, and they will punt the football away with 2:55 left to go.
You know, John, you noticed in the game there was a lot of hard hitting, you know, like that to me is like violence, you know, the collision. And then you see them huddling up all the time, and the analogy is that football is so closely related to modern society. You have violence and committee meetings all the time. So you go to see someone, oh, he's in conference, committee meeting.
They pitch it back to Newman, who shows he can punt as well. Fielded by Eastchester at the 30-yard line as the penalty marker goes down. It could be an illegal block against the Eagles.
Out of bounds at the 40. Given out by Randy.
So we'll check out the marker. Eastchester will get the football. It is an illegal block flip against the Eagles. We'll take a look now at the receiver.
Eastchester.
And I believe, of course, this is just a guess on our part, but that looks to be Matt Gavelli, who made the catch, but the clip against the Eagles, 15-yard penalty, and Eastchester will have one more shot at it. It will be 1st and 10 now from the 19-yard line. 2:26 left to go. Let's send Ray Karowski down to the field, get set for our post-game show, where we will have head coach Dino Gar and our Cable 3 MVP Sal Giglio. 91 yards rushing and a touchdown.
Move back, motion. What are you doing that close with him?
1st and 10 from the 19-yard line.
Double him.
Burrow brings Morgan in motion. Drops back to pass. Throws and it's incomplete. Having a lot of trouble just getting a handle on the football. It's real wet. And where the ball is settled is a big puddle right down there. So that stops the clock with 2:01 left. Fog is rolling in. It's not raining nearly as hard as it was at the ball game, if it is raining at all right now. But sloppy conditions.
Loosen up. Francis, double over here.
Burrows with a 2nd and 10. Again looks to throw. Looks down the sideline, and it's knocked away. Nice defensive play made by Ricky Lehman to knock that football away. And again, that will stop the clock with 1:55 left to go. Take a look and you'll see Lehman dropping right in front. There it is. Good coverage there. The ball floating up, and the receiver had to stay right there waiting for it to come back to him. And that'll allow Lehman time to get back and knock the pass away. So the clock stopped, 1:55 left. 3rd and 10 now for the Eagles. Rye leading 20-0. From the 19-yard line. Burrow, 3rd straight attempt. Protection breaks down. He's got to run out of the pocket, and down he goes. Sack number 5 by the Garnet defense. And the ball comes back to the 11-yard line. And it will be 4th down. See if we can get 42 making the sack. Jerome Kenny. He's having a pretty good ball game himself.
4th and 19.
So 4th and 19. Eastchester will be forced to punt it away. The clock continues to roll. 1:15 left to play. Robert Wooten standing at his own 3-yard line. He'll get the pitch from Burrow. Here it comes. Rushes on. He has to fake it, and down he goes. Never had a chance to get it away. Number 24 in a real hurry, Mike Bach, coming up to drop Wooten back at the 5-yard line. So the Garnets will have it 1st and goal from there. You can see a big rush, and Wooten had no opportunity to kick the football. So Rye will have it 1st and goal from the Eastchester 5 with 50 seconds left to play. Scampering back in now, Richard Niscali. And there's a whistle and a penalty, a delay of game call against the Garnets. So that'll move the ball back to the 11-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal from there.
5-yard penalty, play the game.
So 5-yard call against the Garnets. Clock will hold until the start of the play with 37 seconds left. Right up the middle, and Scott Newman for number 42, Jerome Kenny for the Garnets, virtually untouched. Right up the middle of the field, an 11-yard touchdown run. 11-yard touchdown run, Jerome Kenny, his first TD of the ball game. And Joe King will come in to attempt the extra point. King so far this season with 22 extra points on the year. He's missed the only one he's attempted in the ball game today, that on the first touchdown. Snap comes down to Armis. King with the boot, and it is up and over. So with 33 seconds left in the ball game, Rye has opened up their advantage now to a score of 27-0. Once again, a reminder, coming up next week, we will be at Irvington to watch the Bulldogs play host to the Bronxville Broncos on the final regular season game of the Cable 3 high school football game of the week. And then the week after that, we'll be down at Memorial Field in Mount Vernon to start the Section 1 Bowl Championship. And, of course, we're going to have Dino Gar as our guest this Tuesday night on Extra Points, which begins at 7:30. And hopefully we'll have Sal Giglio on the program as well. The Rye will kick the football away, now leading 27-0. There's the newest member of our all-haircut team. I don't know, I got Bernie Miller sitting right next to me. I don't know, Bernie, you guys, I think it's time for the ADs to start cutting their hairs like that. You look pretty good, don't you think? They're getting ready for the Harrison game. All right, kick is away. It's a short one. Fumble on the turf. Eastchester picks it up, and will go down at the 35-yard line. So the Eagles get it there, 1st and 10 with just 28 seconds left to play. Eastchester has already used all 3 of their timeouts. And I would imagine that John DiArco will be content just to put this one in the books. Been a rough season for the Eagles. 3-4 on the year, about to drop to 3-5. But with the injuries and the lack of numbers that they have had to work with, have to be impressed that they are able to come up with 3 wins. They'll have one more game remaining before the season will come to an end. Burrows wants to throw. Airs it out down the field, and it's intercepted. Picked off for Rye by John Mosia, number 33, and the ball game has come to an end. So the Garnets indeed improved to 7-0-1 on the season with an impressive defensive showing here this afternoon, defeating the Eagles by a score of 27-0. In just a moment, we'll be down on the field with Ray Karowski for our post-game show featuring the winning coach, Dino Gar, and our player of the game, Sal Giglio. So we hope you'll stay with us when the Cable 3 Game of the Week continues in just a moment. Which is emptied out very quickly, and not surprising on the kind of day that the folks had to brave to watch this ball game. But the Garnet fans, in any event, are leaving home happy as their Rye Garnets defeat the Eastchester Eagles by a score of 27-0. Down on the field for our post-game show, we've got the winning coach, Dino Gar, our player of the game, Sal Giglio, and they're with our coach, Ray Karowski.
Dino, I want to ask you about the officiating, and particularly the one call. I know that as a coach, the linemen can get down, the ends can get down, they can get back up, and they can shift. Now, you did come out in the field. What exactly happened in that situation then?
Well, officials can make up their own reasons for it and justify themselves all the time. The ends can move, and we shifted out of our ends, and it was a 3rd down play. It wasn't even 4th down, and we just wanted to run a play from a shift, late shift, and they said that the intent of the end was to draw the defense offside. Well, the intent of running an offensive play is to score, so I don't know, where that goes. As I said, they can make up their own reasons for calling it, but we've been doing this for 15 years, and we've never had any real problem with it. I think there were a couple of calls out there that, roughing the kicker when you have a quarterback pitching the ball back. You can't do it. There's no such thing. And then he said there wasn't roughing the kicker, it was unsportsmanlike conduct. So they're covering themselves and everything they do. But that's their prerogative. I'm going to argue when I feel that we're not getting a good call, and I think they have to understand that from me. So I called 2 timeouts and tried to get that straightened out, but it didn't make any difference. They're going to come up with their own reasons for doing so.
Coach, during the game, your defense played so well. I hope you do not get offended, because I have said numerous times throughout the first half, the second half, that the defense is like a rat pack. I mean, they just come right at you. You gave up only a total of 19 points. What exactly is your defensive philosophy? What do you do? I mean, it's so great. And before you do that, are you offended I call them the rat
No,
pack?
not at all. I think they play hard. They play aggressive. I think that we've been traditionally a real good defensive ball club, and I think they take pride in that, and they just really want to be around the ball. And I think that goes a lot of credit to the coaching staff and John Antonacci and Tommy Maloney, who does a real good job of preparing for each team that we play. And I think there's a lot of pride there, especially with the seniors who've been going through 2 undefeated seasons right now.
I'll tell you, I like defense, and I think you're the best defensive team in Section 1. Sal, congratulations on most valuable player you played. A heck of a game. Sal, what was it like playing under conditions like today?
In the beginning, I thought it would hinder my running because of the slippery, the way it was slippery, but actually it helped it because they weren't able to make tackles. They weren't able to stay on me because they slipped and they had to make a lot of arm tackles, and it was just helpful for me.
So watching you run with determination, desire, like the intensity. That touchdown down here to about 9 yards, could you tell us what the call was and describe you running into the end zone?
Well, it was a sweep to the left, and I cut it back in, and I was like, there's a couple of people on me, and I was just mad that I didn't stop. But like I said, the mud helped me because they weren't able to wrap, and they like knocked me back and just fell off the block, the tackle. And then I looked to the left, and there were 3 of my guys, and I just, ran it in. It was easy after that.
You have great balance also. Don't go away when I ask more questions. Next week, Rye. Now, I know if I was coaching, one of my biggest problems would be, I guess, sleep. I'd be up till about 4 o'clock in the morning. I know it's the granddaddy rivalry game in the state of New York, and just personally, what do you feel would be your problem this coming week?
Well, I don't think it's a problem. I think that, again, we're going to get emotionally involved with it. It's a great week for us, and we just have a great bunch of players. I can't say enough for the players because they'll come out and play. They're hard-working, and our job is to get them prepared, and I think they're going to be prepared next week to play a real good team. It's going to be a good game. I hope we have some good weather.
It will. It's definitely going to be a good game, and I hope you get good rest. So, what does this game coming up, Harrison, mean to you?
Yeah, everything. It can make the difference between a successful season and an unsuccessful season. You could go undefeated into that game and lose it, and you just remember that loss. And you could go winless into that game and win the Harrison game, and it'll be just great. Season will be all worth it to beat Harrison.
I wish you a lot of luck and a good week of practice. Congratulations, Coach. Okay, John, back up to you.
All right, thank you very much, Ray, and our congratulations to the Garnets as they pick up win number 7. We were talking about defense. How about these numbers? The Garnet defense allowed Eastchester a total of 91 yards in the ball game. 35 yards on the ground, 56 through the air. Birch Burroughs was 4 of 15. For the Garnets offense, they had a total of 260 yards. Steve Reveling was 5 of 14 through the air for 88 yards, and the running game 172 yards, led by our Cable 3 MVP, Sal Giglio. He had a total of 91, including the 1 touchdown run. So that's going to do it from Nugent Stadium on our Game of the Week. And we remind you these games have been brought to you by the Mavis Tire Company and by Parkway Limousine Service and by County Boys and Men's Shop and by House of Hard